Your experience is representative of a lot of other experience that doesn't always get to be represented in the places we find ourselves professionally. And so if you're thinking about it, you can do it and you should do it.
I'm here at Riverview Park, just outside the Allegheny Observatory, where LED lighting is already being implemented as a climate solution. LEDs, which stand for light-emitting diodes, are solutions that are not only electricity solutions and enhance efficiency, but also make communities safer and healthier and build a better world for people and our planet. How can we light the way to a new path to really change the way that LEDs can build a better world for all of us and, more importantly, a better world for centuries to come? Today I'm talking with Angie Martinez, who's lighting the way when it comes to LED lighting, not only in this neighborhood, but throughout Pittsburgh in neighborhoods everywhere.
My name is Angie Martinez. I work for the City of Pittsburgh, Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. What I do is oversee a staff of just under 20 or so people who are responsible for issuing and inspecting permits in the public right-of-way. So that's our streets, our sidewalks, our public space that's sort of managed for transportation purposes. Our group is also responsible for overseeing the administration of our city bus shelter contract and city streetlights. So that's a lot of things, but the common denominator is that these are all things that are in the public space.
What brought you to Pittsburgh?
It's interesting because while I have, some family history and ties to Pittsburgh, I didn't necessarily see myself as coming back to this area. That sort of happened naturally. I went to school at West Virginia University. There I studied environmental and natural resource economics. And then from there, I did graduate studies at the University of Maryland, and then spent a couple of years in the Northern Virginia, DC area, which was great. DC is a wonderful place to be. But after so many years, I started to just feel like I wasn't making the impact that I wanted to make in that region. It's so busy and there's so much going on. It's wonderful to be a small part of it, but I was really looking to be able to step up. That led to looking at other opportunities, and one of those opportunities that really was interesting to me was a position with the City of Pittsburgh working in transportation planning.
Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do? Was it transportation planning or was it something completely different?
Well, I didn't know that transportation or planning were even, a thing. I came to that very naturally. So I was able to work with professors on research projects that really developed my interest in environmental related issues. And one thing that I was grappling with at the time was the notion of transportation and how transportation is so tied to our greenhouse gas emission and then of course climate change. So I started to get sort of passionate about this idea of if we make it easier for people to ride the bus, to bike, to make better transportation options, we could really make an impact on climate change. And then at the same time, we could also develop places that are nicer areas to be. So places where walking is enjoyable, where biking is enjoyable, where I can live and go grocery shopping and go to school, sort of all in one area without having to sit in my car in congestion, which nobody wants to do.
For those who don't know, what makes LED lighting a climate solution?
So LEDs are more efficient than other alternatives for lighting. The bulbs have a longer lifespan and they also require less energy to function. And so by converting or replacing a less efficient system with something more efficient, we'll be using less greenhouse gas emissions and also be paying less in our city's utility consumption.
Is there advice that you have for young people, especially who want to take on climate careers or climate ready careers in some kind of way?
I know for me, when I was a high schooler, the idea of going to college or having a professional career really felt out of reach, especially a career that I wanted to do. You know, being able to work in a field that I enjoyed as opposed to having to work just to sort of have a job. And so I want, you know, first generation college students to know that they can do it. And I think even more than that, we need them to do it. We need diversity of perspective. We need diversity of experience. Get into these fields because your experience is representative of a lot of other experience that doesn't always get to be represented in the places we find ourselves professionally. And so if you're thinking about it, you can do it and you should do it.
Do you have a vision for the impact that you want to make in the world?
I think the impact I want to have is more setting the stage for others, creating a work environment that people can come in and step up and take things on. I think benefits not only the individuals, but our organization and then our city.
What excites you most about the work that you get to do?
It's exciting to be a part of making some of the decisions and determining the direction we're going to go as a city. The majority of our streetlights are high pressure sodium bulbs. They're reaching sort of the end of their natural life, and so we're at a moment in time where as a city we need to say, are we going to continue and just sort of keep up with the regular upkeep of the system, converting things as we go along, or are we going to do this in a more responsible, sustainable way, which is take a step back, look at our network of city streetlights, and come up with a plan for how we actually convert them.
Twist in a slightly different direction. If there was like a piece of advice or something you could tell to your younger self when facing a challenge, like what would that be now?
To get rid of the idea that you can't do it or it's not for you. If you are passionate about something, you'll find a way to work that into whatever it is in life that you're dealing with. Be true to yourself. Don't focus so much on the outcome of things because you'll be all right at the end of it. Really focus on honing down on what matters to you. You'll find a way to work that into whatever little place in the world that you find yourself. I'm Angie Martinez. I work for the City of Pittsburgh, Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, and I'm helping reach Drawdown through management of public space and LED streetlights.